So tonight or whenever you're watching this, this is a channeled reading. It's a reading that is very significant when it comes to the pink moon. During this time, for anyone who doesn't know, and for anyone who cares, people like to do moon magic, sex, rituals and things like that, um, in order to manifest things into reality that they wouldn't normally be able to do just by operating in the physical. So people manipulate the spirit in order to get ahead. I've had this done to me plenty of times, to the point of just like every full moon, I know there's going to be a wave of emotions, and I go along with the wave. But I also stabilize myself to where I'm above the wave. I'm gonna repeat that again. I stabilize myself so that I'm above the wave of emotions. Alright. Um, I've had groups of people, whether it be bullying or just people I didn't fit in with. I've had this type of thing done on a constant basis for over a decade, to where now I'm just protecting myself by being educated, basically, and without anyone actually getting the time to get to know me or get to understand my perspective. Uh, with that not being valued as it should have been, um, I had self-esteem issues. So it was very easy to target me because it was like I couldn't wake up to myself or who I was until I did. And when I did, I was grateful for the hard times. I was grateful for everyone giving me a hard time. Now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, you can stop now. And for the most part, I can say that life is good. It could be better. And I think that's just because of the state of the world right now. I'm minding my business, drinking my water or tea. Um, Not bothering anyone, just trying to make it to the next day, next week, next month, next year. Um, that's always been my motivation, is to just make it another day or make it another year. So, uh, it might be time to simplify your life. It might be time to not care about what other people think and to drop your mask, you know? But let's see what the cards say. Again, um, when it comes to cards and stuff like that, I view this as a tool, but also entertainment. It's fun for me because I get to help people in a way where they can't see it, because I have this foresight. So, if you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. If you think I'm crazy, go right ahead. I don't really care. Have at it. Um, let's see. You can close the gap on some things in your life if you plant the right seeds, is what I'm getting from this. And unseen support is in the reverse. So, You may be feeling very lonely right now, very excluded, or something like that. Um, I suggest you enjoy your alone time. Enjoy the time that you do have to yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Um, Go within during this time. Because right now, what I'm hearing is like a whole lot of questions with not a lot of seeking answers. Um, Answers aren't just going to appear. You know, you can't just pray for them, then like poof. There's levels to this. You have to actually put in the work on your own life in order to get some answers too. It's a two-way street, especially when it comes to your spirit and how it's being looked at from a higher perspective. God sees you and He sees everything that you do towards people who are innocent or who aren't innocent at all. And depending on what kind of role you're intending to play, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. So stay in your own lane. Shift your perspective. Zoom out and look at everything from a bigger picture. And if you've already done that, keep doing it and just focus on your own journey. Do not let anyone dictate your energy because beginnings are coming. If you yourself have any guilt or shame towards who you are or what you have done up until this point, you need to work on that. It's the only way you're going to sow good seed in order for you to get anything positive back, is by actually changing yourself and changing your attitude and being patient. A lot of people aren't these days. I can say that I am not a patient person. I mentioned that before. So it's an active challenge for me, not on a daily basis, but on a frequent basis, to where I have to check myself. And I have no shame in that. A lot of people want to put shame on things like that, but I don't really see that there's a need for it. Because we're human, we do what we do, we get nervous sometimes, and sometimes we get nervous more than others, okay? We call that anxiety, and we call that going to therapy. Hello, how are you? I'm here helping you, okay? So, I don't know, you may need to change who you're around. Your interconnected communities around you, they're not really supporting healing in a way that's holistic. You're probably getting a lot of mixed signals. Don't worry about them. I wouldn't care about that. If they're seeing you in a different light, just hope that it's positive instead of negative. And if it is negative, do something to change that around. And if it's too difficult right now, wait for the fire to go out and then rebuild your fire with fresh wood. Don't use the old wood that you had before, if you catch my drift. It's kind of crazy because the more you take a look at yourself, the more you appreciate what you have to bring to the table. However, a lot of people have concluded that they already have the table fully stocked. All the chairs are filled. And then at the end of the day, people just don't show up, you know? And that can be for a reason of not being around the right people, or not inviting the right people to your table. This is all metaphorically speaking. Sometimes the food isn't appealing to be at the table. Sometimes there are things in your drink that you can't drink at the table. You can look at it, but you can't sit at the table. So, and at that point, to me, it's like, well, if I'm looking at my table and I'm looking at yours, and I enjoy my table, I'm sitting at my table. If your food looks good over there, I'm just grateful that you have food. And if I'm asking what it is, that means I'm curious as to what you are consuming. And if I'm curious as to what you're consuming, that means that I may consider it for myself. It's called having eye gates to look and see what is good and bad, making a judgment call on what that actually is, and if it's good for you, or if it looks good, or if it is good. You make that call, yes or no. The other person makes that call, yes or no. And then maybe you can sit at the table and maybe they'll break bread with you. All of those are maybes, because we all have boundaries and restrictions that we put on people based off of different reasons. But let it be for a reason that is of your own and not of other people's opinions. Your perspective matters too. And if you're constantly reaching out to different people to figure out what to do with yourself, figure out what to do with yourself. Don't allow other people to figure out what you should do with you. That doesn't make any sense. If you allow other people to figure out what to do with you before you do, you have completely given up your control and your willpower. So while it may seem like you're sitting on top, you're actually being a puppet to anyone who can put something inside of your head. Don't do that. I don't know who decided that that was okay, but it's not. I learned this a long time ago. That's why it's easy, not easy, but it's different for me to process people leaving. Because I am used to it and I can think through the reasons why someone has left, I usually don't return because of the reason that was presented the first time. And if the reason is too toxic, of course I'm not going to be around, right? So that table is not poisoned. I cannot sit at that table anymore. There is no chair available that will hold me or assist me while I'm enjoying your company in your domain. I'd rather not be there. Is what I'm saying. Exclusion rituals happen, and they happen often to those who are different. It happens often to those who are chastised or who are considered not a part of anything anymore. They begin to exile this person. They begin to either make up rumors, lies, or start things unnecessarily in between people of a group. And then once they do this, they have decided they now have control of this table and what goes on it and who sits at the table, right? That sounds very uninviting to me. So why would I care about coming back to the table? It wasn't meant for me in the first place, is what is being told by the gestures of this ritual. I've gone through this before, alright? So this is why I'm telling you, like, if you're going through this, this is what is happening to you. And the sooner you remove yourself from the table, the better. I allowed these people to remove the table, remove the chairs, take away the food, take away the attention, take away the games. I allowed them to do this. because I knew soon that time was going to run out. It was going to run out for me because of the way I was moving in life. I don't know to this day what they wanted from me or what they wanted to do exactly. If it was to build a tougher skin, they failed because it was already there. I just didn't show it because I was vulnerable. Because I'm not afraid of being vulnerable. Because I was actually strong enough to do the shit and actually be real with myself to the point where I'm just like, if I have to start over, I have to start over. I want to be good no matter what because I have God on my side and I pray every day. I've went through endings before that no one has even imagined me going through. Endings of myself and different versions of me that they have not seen and stories that they have not heard. Because they would not allow me to sit at this table to tell them those things. I'm telling you right now, if they're exiling you, if they're excluding you, do it first. See what happens. Because the sooner you do that, the better you're going to be off to get to know yourself. I could have freed myself a long time ago from this table. But I felt like there was a ball and chain because they were so misled, misguided, and they were very overindulgent in a lot of different things to where I'm just like, yo, what's going on here? Is everyone okay? Because it seems like everyone's not. And once I started to get real like that, that's when things started to change. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just growing. There's nothing wrong with them, really. They just have their own world that they have to pay attention to. And that has nothing to do with you. This is the mindset that I've maintained over the past decade and a half. This is a mindset that I kept to myself for a very long time because people wouldn't know what to do with it back in the day when I actually cared. But now I don't. Because I can't. My capacity is no longer there for that type of treatment, that type of stuff, that those type of rituals that people try to do. I've been bullied since I was 5. Up until this point, like, you had to use probably witchcraft in order to take me out because the fuck, I'm just over here minding my business trying to just be a good little human. But you got all these other people that are surrounding you, right, that have other motivations that you don't even know about. You got invisible beef, like I said before in one of my other videos. You it's invisible beef that isn't even cooked because you can't see it. And because you can't see it, it's like it's not even there. But other people know that it's there. Right? So now you just feeling cooked. It's gonna be okay. Nothing lasts forever, and it shouldn't last forever, especially things like this. So please, take care of yourself. If anyone is like assaulting you or violating any of your boundaries by violating your space, I've had things stolen from me. I had like the oil drained out of my car for years on end to the point where I had to get a new transmission. I've had people stab my tires before. I've had friends who have been in very questionable situations with me around. I'm telling you, I'm done. I've been done. And it's only because like I felt like I couldn't find other people that were like me. But now I know that that's not true. There are a lot of people out there like me. And people hate that I found myself or that I found my confidence so far. And they're gonna hate that about you too. Not everyone, but you'll know. You'll feel it. It's gonna be like, ooh. It's gonna be that kind of feeling. You know, if you're auditory, if you know ooh means, it means you're uncomfortable and you need to just, walk the other way. Yeah, this is a long video. This is going on YouTube for sure. Your past doesn't define you, so don't let other people use it against you. It's annoying, I know. Okay, well, I think that's it for this one. I'm gonna do another one at some point. We'll see. But have a nice day, or whenever you're seeing this.